Welcome back. Now, despite persistent calls for a drastic reduction in the cost of governance amid dwindling revenue and increasing debt profile, President Bola Tinubu has forwarded the names of 2 more minister nominees to the Senate for confirmation, taking the number of nominees to an unprecedented 49. The new minister nominees are to serve in the Ministry of Youth, while Jamila Bio Ibrahim will serve as the Minister of Youth. Ayodele Olawande will serve as the Minister of State for Youth. Now, the new addition will bring Tinubu's cabinet members now to 49. Earlier in August, 47 cabinet members sent by President Tinubu had been cleared by the Senate. Now, if the 2 new ministerial nominees are confirmed by the Senate, Tinubu will have the largest cabinet of any president in Nigeria's Fourth Republic. That's from 1999 to date. This move goes against, of course, calls for the president to maintain a lean government while he's under pressure to quickly revive Africa's largest economy, which is facing a high debt burden, double-digit inflation, and widespread insecurity. Joining me now to discuss more on this is Lanre Suraj, who is the chairman of HEDA Resource Center. Lanre, thank you very much for joining us on the program. 2 more ministerial nominees are on their way to joining the cabinet to bring the total number to 49 member cabinet. No doubt that is a huge cabinet. And what do you make of it?
Yeah, I don't even think that this is going to be the last because there's still the position of the Minister of Environment that is yet to also be occupied. And I think that is to look at also the nominee from Kaduna State, who is also going to be joining the other members.
So we might be seeing a cabinet of over 50 members.
Very unwieldy. This is not what is needed at the time when everybody, including ordinary citizens and the economic system, is being advised to adjust to a new style of the austere life that would follow a country that is struggling to deal with not just external debt, but also meeting some of the basic social amenities for the citizens, and also to come out of local debt as well that are joining the international one. So with the number of ministers, considering that ministers will also have special advisors, there are still special advisors to the president. There will be special advisors to the ministers. There will be special assistants. And you've seen a number of them are also recently appointed, about 12 of them appointed to also serve as special advisor and assistant to the president in the office of the vice president. And you're getting to wonder what are the outcomes that we get from many of these appointments. The country is not really moving forward in terms of any form of development or also policy emanating from such offices and engagement. But it's been now a tradition of just finding job for the boys and also now for some of the girls. You can commend the fact that there are more young people being appointed into the cabinet, but this is not a justification for running such a huge, cabinet at a time when we need a more leaner, but more functional cabinet that would deal with the enormous challenges that the country is facing presently.
Could we say that there's too much work to be done, and that's the reason why we're having this huge cabinet, that when you have too much work to be done, you just need a huge cabinet to do the job?
No, I mean, that is just like, this is just like a situation when you say you want to have a construction on the site, and what you have is a huge number of 4 men, rather than the sufficient number of the laborers who would do the work. I mean, the ministers are not usually the one doing the work. The ministers are just there to advise more or less and also represent the president. So it's not the minister doing anything other than coordinating. The ministers don't formulate policies. The ministers just go to sit down many times with the president in office and then also supervise ministries. You have directors, you have permanent secretaries, you have several assistant directors, and like I said, you have special advisors and special assistants to the president. I'm not sure there's a work that wants to be done in Nigeria that will be more than what is being done by the cabinet of the United States, for instance, in terms of the level of work that goes with the economy of the country. I'm not sure if it's the same thing that would be also done when you look at China and the rest of them. And they don't keep this huge amount of people. But we all know that this is not actually the point. It is not about the work. It is about just also ensuring that you spread the appointments to all those who have facilitated the electoral process to victory. But that is not sufficient. There are other ways that people can be compensated by actually contributing to the country, but not by becoming burdens to the country, and also going to be ministers to recoup whatever investment they might have contributed to the process of the electoral victory.
If you looked at the ministries we have at the moment across board, including the new ones that the president created, which of the ministries do you think the country can actually do without?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure if it is necessary to continue creating, dividing some of the ministries. I mean, when you look at the youth and sport, like it's just been divided. When you look at the women affairs and poverty alleviation, as it's been divided. When you look at the humanitarian and that has been divided, I really don't think that is completely necessary. Yes, if you're looking at the one for the blue economy, and maritime, and you can understand that the blue economy thing is becoming a trend, which will require a kind of a dedicated ministry and also someone who would deal with that. And then you would have the aviation on the side. You have now you have transport, and you want to wonder, transport is doing what then? So except for railway, and the federal government doesn't deal with the road transportation. So the NRC can actually deal with the issue of the railway rather than having a ministry that would be looking at that in the absence of the Ministry of Aviation, the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. And what is left with the Ministry of, because we have Ministry of Women Affairs, does not necessarily mean that we must also create a ministry for youth. It is possible to still have the Ministry of Youth and Sport and have a special advisor to the president on youth. I mean, it's so unfortunate. You have several special assistant to the president, community engagement, that one engagement, and all the rest of that. These are not things that are completely necessary. And Ministry of Information, Tourism and Culture, they've all now been also separated. I mean, these are areas where what you need is not just decimating or creating alternative ministries, but where you really need to get people who understand the issue and also are able to deal with the policies and drive the process of getting things done under those ministries. It's not just necessary to create additional opportunity, especially like we said, when it is really critical and important to reduce the cost of governance. I totally and completely disagree that it is because of the work, and quite a number of them can actually be done away with.
And do you think this is just the president coming under pressure to compensate those who actually worked for his election?
Yes, I mean that you can say that the political which, if the president has actually buckled under pressure to compensate, then we have the challenges now staring us in the face to actually vouch if the president will be able to scale through and also deal with some of the promised reforms. It means he can also just capitulate when gets under pressure. I really don't want to agree that the president came or actually was forced by the pressure to compensate. It has to come from within. He's already the president. Even if he's eyeing the next election come 2027, there are other ways, like I said earlier, that people can be compensated. It doesn't have to be until you are a minister. And quite a number of those ministers are actually baggages for him, former governors that are there, quite a number of them with corruption, allegation and cases to deal with, quite a number of them with quite lack of any form of tangible result or achievement that you can trace to them or attribute to their formal office performances. So it is not like he's not able to actually function without necessarily making them ministers and creating this unwieldy situation.
All right, Henry Surratt, thank you very much for coming on the show, and thank you for your time with us. All right, we'll take a short break and we'll be right back. Stay with us, don't go away. Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal. How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On DEJI360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts, and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
DEJI360, dissecting the issues.